Where are you tuning from? Welcome to Talks That Teach. This is where meaningful conversations don't just still quiet. They challenge us, they change us, and stay with us long after the conversation ends. I'm your host Naseem Ullah Bhutta, and today our conversation is built around the you can say deeply human theme, rebuild the rebuilding rebuilding the self, purpose, resilience, and renewal. Because sometimes life doesn't simply ask us to move forward, it asks us to rebuild piece by piece, belief by belief, choice by choice. Today we are talking about what it means to reclaim identity, restore dignity, and create lasting change from inside out. Our guest brings a powerful framework to this conversation through her transformational program, Track to the Stars. It's not just about a changing behavior, it's about rebuilding the entire self. It's about helping people see they are more than the past, their pain, or any, you can say, label placed on them. In this conversation, we will uncover how purpose can be discovered, resilience rebuilt, and renewal made real. So, as we begin, we ask how do we rebuild the self with dignity, direction, and hope? Joining us today, Dr. Andrea Anderson, certified speaker, coach, trainer, educator, and transformational leader. Through her work with the John Maxwell team and the Self Talk Institute, she helps people strengthen mindset, purpose, and leadership. Dr. Andrea Anderson, welcome to Talks That Teach.
Oh, thank you, Professor. I'm happy, honored, and humbled to be here, all the way from Oklahoma, USA.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's start with the you can say the first section of my podcast. I have divided in you can say some sections. First one is about the purpose, rediscovering the true self. Dr. Andrea, rebuilding the self isn't a quick fix. It's a deeper journey, one of the purpose, possibility, and renewal. Sometimes people don't lose their purpose, but they lose touch with who they are meant to become. Doctor, my question to you is what inspired you to create a pathway that helps people reconnect with purpose and rebuild their sense of self?
Okay. First of all, I like the word that you just used. You said pathway, and that's exactly what it is. I've never used that word before, but it is a pathway. The word trek, Trek, is the arduous trail, a journey. It's going to take a while to get there. It's not always easy. It's difficult at times, but my job is to help create a pathway, as you just gave me this new word, for the person to work it and to work it and to walk it. I saw the need. I'm a college professor. However, they don't send me to the college to teach. They send me to a male prison and a female prison. And I could see the need that people have. But you know what? It's just not for inmates. It's just not for incarcerated people. It's for everyone so we can reach our purpose. So that's the pathway that I'm in the process of developing into modules, into courses to help on that trek into this to the stars. And we'll talk later about what the stars stand for. In fact, I'm going to write that word down that you used so I can incorporate it. You said pathway.
Right.
Thank you.
It's a powerful, you can say, the inspiration yet you have shared with us. Wonderful. The phrase "trek to the stars," just you have mentioned, suggests movement, meaning, and momentum. But today we are focusing on deeper journey of strategically transforming and automatically realigning the self. That's a process of rebuilding from inside out. Doctor, what does strategically transforming and automatically rebuilding self mean in real life for the people you serve?
Okay. Stars, strategically, T, strength, S is strategically, T, transforming, A
Mhm.
is authentically, R is realigning, S is yourself. Stars, S-T-A-R-S, and it's a trek, that journey that we reach to go to get to the stars. There is a need. Again, the mindset is I'm focusing on inmates, but I'm also focusing on individuals, starting with myself. Looking at there's a saying that says, look at the man in the mirror, look at the person in the mirror. I'm focusing on myself also. The purpose of that is to get us from point A to point B. Why? Because we need each other. I need to be strategically transformed, authentically realigned, have myself realigned so I can help my fellow man. That's what we've been placed on earth to do, to help our family man, to help our family, to help our man, to help mankind, our fellow, I'm trying to say the word fellow, to help our fellow man. We need each other. There's a saying that says, no man is an island. I need you, Professor. You need me. We need each other. But if we're not together, if we're discombobulated, if we're not strategically transformed, authentically realigned ourselves, how can I help you?
Right.
The blind leading the blind, both of you are going to fall into a ditch.
Right.
So that's what we have to do. So I hope I'm kind of going around your question, but that's the purpose of that, to help strategically transform, authentically realign self.
I love that. Real transformation is not just about you can becoming different. It is about becoming the whole. That's a great thing. Yes, there may be some practices or you can say the some activities that can help us in this regard. Okay, Dr. Andrea, when people think about change, they often focus one area of life, not about the whole, you can say the package of life. But lasting transformation usually requires attention to the whole person, our spirit, emotions, body, relationships, and resources even. Why are the five pillars spirit, soul, soma, you can say the sphere, and soul, as you mentioned already, so essential for rebuilding the self?
Okay. Well, Professor, think about this. Was it a couple weeks? Was it this year? I believe it was. I'm not into sports, but they think about the Olympics. Think about the Olympics. Your Pakistan is involved in Olympics. America's involved in Olympics. All countries are involved in Olympics. And what is the logo? You see the five rings. You think
Yes,
about that. You see the five rings.
rings.
Do you ever notice? I know you have. The five rings are interlocked together. They are not separated here, there. All five rings come together. Well, you know what? The five rings, which are your spirit, your soul, your soma, your sphere, and your salt, they must come together for that holistic, for you to become a whole person. Now
Right.
let me know when you're ready for us to break down, because we'll break down what everything stands for and how you can bring the five rings. Think about the Olympic rings; they're all intertwined together. They're all linked together.
Right, wonderful. Doctor, can you explain soma a little bit? It's a new thing for me. Soma and salt.
Say that again, sir.
Soma and salt. Can you explain these two terms a little bit more? They
Okay,
are new
okay,
for me.
all right. You're a professor. Soma is the
Yes.
Greek word. You know, I'm the kind of person I have to. Everything has to match for me. Literation. I have to have everything match for me. So, spirit, we'll talk about that later. Spirit, your soul, talk about that later. Soma is simply your body. That is soma, Soma. That's where we get the Greek word for body.
Right.
Sir, come on. When your body is not together, when you're sick, when you're in bed, you can't get up, you're not feeling well, everything just kind of, you just fall apart. Your soma has to be together. Your body must be together. That's why we have to take care of our bodies. Because once your body is gone, my friend, you're gone.
Yes, yes,
So that's the soma. Again, we'll go through this in order later. Salt.
yes,
S-A, you say, Andrea, what do you mean by salt? This is salt. In fact, this is Himalayan salt. This is the
yes.
best salt in the world. Helps your soma. In Roman times, soldiers under Caesar would be paid in salt because salt was the seasoning was the most precious. We'll keep using it again. Salt was the most precious commodity in the world. So they paid them instead of paying wages, they paid them in salt. And in fact, that's where we get the Latin word salary, Salary, which is an American word, salary, salt. That comes from salt. So when your finances have to be in order, okay, my spirit's in order, my soul's in order, my soma's in order, spirit's in order, but you have no money. How can you help one another? How can you help yourself if you have no money? If your economic foundation is kind of squirrely, if it's kind of off balance, if it's not aligned. So your salt must be aligned. And also, if you think about it, what does salt do? Salt provides seasoning. Have you ever eaten bland food? Ew.
No.
You have to, you have to. I had some wonderful pasta one day, had no salt in it. And so I carry salt with me to season it, gives you flavor. Live a life so strong to help your fellow man that add seasoning, that you add flavor to each other, that you add flavor to me, I add flavor to you. You're adding flavor to your family and to your students. I'm doing the same thing. So salt is your economic foundation and adding seasoning and flavor to ourselves so we can add seasoning and flavor to one another, our fellow man. It all boils down to one thing. What am I doing for my fellow man?
That's such important perspective you have shared with me. A real change becomes, you can say, the sustainable when it reaches every part of life. That's wonderful. And Andrea, in my country, we have, you can say, the red salt, pink salt, not red, pink salt. That's wonderful. That's a mines of pink salt. Yes. Yeah, you can see the Kyoda salt. Name of that mine is Kyoda, and we visit sometime over there. Everything is this, you can say, made of salt over there, and it is the one of the best salt in the world.
Yes, yes. Why? It has magnesium in it, and magnesium gives you health. It keeps you going. I am never without my pink salt. So I have to come and visit your country, and so I can get some of your salt.
Yes, if you are quite near to me, I would like to send it. You can see in bulk. It is quite, you can see the not. It's quite cheap in my country. It's, you can at very low price because we have in excess.
Oh, I did not know that. So do you call it Himalayan or do you call it pink salt?
Yes,
Okay, this is called, yes, a grinder. And I've got a grind. Oh, and Professor, listen to this. This isn't in a grinder. And
yes.
sometimes you have to be ground. I have some also. It's just regular. I can just pour it all over the place. But this is a grinder. I have to grind it. And that's what life does. Sometimes you have to grind the seasoning, the flavor. I have to be ground so I can be the best person I can for you, so I can be the best person I can for me and for our students. So grind. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. My next section of this question is the healing the inner story. It's about many people can carry old wounds, limiting beliefs, and quietly shape their self-view. Doctor, how can someone bring separating their past experience from the future potential? It's
Oh
quite
my God.
difficult for people. They carry their, you can say, past beliefs and past pains with them, and sometimes it blocks their future potential even.
Mm. That's an excellent question. That really comes up in teaching in the prisons. You can't erase the past. We just can't. We wish we could have erased and erase the past. You can, but what you can do is keep on, go forward. There's a saying that says, "Don't look, go on, go forward. Don't look back. You're gonna make it, and that's a fact. Do not look back. You cannot. When you're driving a vehicle, what do you have right in front of you? You have the rear view mirror, but notice how that's small. It's about this size, the rear view mirror. But the whole the window, oh yeah, mirror. But the whole other window is huge. Why? Because you're going forth. If you keep looking at the rear view mirror, you're going to end up with an accident. You're not going to go anywhere. You're going to just stay stagnant, and you may cause someone else to be harmed because you're not paying attention. You're so busy looking at looking backwards instead of looking forwards. Keep looking forward. Everyone has made mistakes. There's a song that says, "When I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race." That's life. It's life to fall flat on your face, but we must pick ourselves up and get back in the race. That's why strategically transforming, authentically realigning self is so important, because if my life is, if my spirit is fine, if my soul is fine, soma, spirit, and salt is fine, then I can help you. Then you can help me. So that is why, but stop looking at the past. There's something you can do, but you can go on and then you can learn from your lessons. John Maxwell has a new book out called How to Fail, Getting a Return on Your Failure. In America, I'm sure they call it in your country also, ROI, Return on Investment. Okay, you've invested in your failure. Now let's get a return on it. Let's use this failure to do something to help our fellow man and to help ourselves. So stop looking backwards. You're not going anywhere. The past, they call it the past for a reason. It's past.
Yes, yes. That's encouraging. Our past may shape us, but it doesn't have to define us. That's a great thing. But sometimes it is quite difficult to you can leave our past memories. Even they are recurring all the time. It happens even. It happens with everyone. We
Yes.
would like to you can focus on future. Just you have shared with us. Healing isn't always visible. Sometimes the greatest progress happens beneath the surface. Andrea what role does emotional healing play in rebuilding the self?
What role is emotional healing? You have to be healed. There's a saying says, "Physician, heal yourself." You have to be healed. If I am not healed, how can I help you? Again, that's a blind leading the blind. I'm blind. Now, how can I tell you, Professor, go this way? Professor, go this way. I can't see anything. So I've got to be emotionally healed. Now, how can you do that? I am a firm believer in prayer, but prayer and having faith. But faith without works, if you don't do anything with it, it's dead. It doesn't move anything. You have to keep moving. You have to keep saying, "I'm going to be emotionally healed. God is going to help me become emotionally healed." Because if you know what, sir, if we're not, notice, if we're not emotionally healed, what do we become? We become a monument. Now, I know they have monuments in your country. They have monuments in our country also. We don't need to become a monument. Why? Because a monument is like a statue. It doesn't move, doesn't go anywhere. And what do the birds do? The birds go to the bathroom on your head because because you're a monument. But when you're moving, when you're going here, when you're going there, when you're going forward, guess what? Birds can't go to the bathroom on your head because you're moving. So getting healed emotionally, you must do that. And for me, maybe not for other people, but it's finding my inner peace. And my inner peace is found in God, in prayer, believe my spirit. That's why spirit is really the foundation, because we're spirit beings. It's our faith identity.
Right. Thank you very much. In my last podcast was Keller Jeffers. She shared with the same thought that she believes in prayers and God, and she get emotionally, you can say, the refresh and gets a strength from there. And you are the second one, and you can say that you are in very next podcast that shared this idea that you believe in prayers, and it's necessary for us to get refined and be emotionally healed with this. That's wonderful. I'll try myself this thing. uh, thank you very much. And that's such an important reminder that you have shared. Healing creates room for the growth. That's a great thing. Your program emphasizes being trauma informed and dignity centered, powerful principles. How do those principles show up in the learning experience?
Okay, see, how do the learning experience of being trauma informed? You know what? I want to focus more, not being so much trauma informed, but how about trauma transform? Transform your trauma, transform it. Don't let it define you. Never let your past define you. We must do that. Never, ever, ever let your past define you.
Right.
In fact, I just said it 2 weeks ago in class. I teach a philosophy class in the prison. And I asked my students, I said, what is the word? I could see it, but what is the word on your back? They have to wear orange jumpsuits. I said, what is the word written on your back? And they said, inmate. I said, okay, that defines them as an inmate. So when people see them with that orange outfit, they see the word inmate. I said, but when your creator, when God looks up in heaven down at you, what is he seeing? Does he see the word inmate? And they said, no, no. He sees the word beloved, child, forgiven, um, work in progress. That is what we have to do. They don't, let's not see the word trauma. Yes, we have to deal with trauma, but let's go beyond that. Let's become trauma transformed and trauma reformed and not trauma performed. So let's move away from the trauma and again focus on the past. Now, Andrea, does that mean that you have to ignore the trauma? No, but you don't ignore it, but you see it. Okay, this is what, okay, this represents my trauma. Okay, what am I going to do about it? It's past. Now I need to get healed. How do you get healed? You can get healed per prayer, but you can also be healed by talking to other people, listening. Professor, I have a problem. When I was having a problem, because I'm so tech non-savvy, I called my friend. You heard me. I called my friend Allison. I said, what do I do? What do I do? And she's walking me through the process. Find someone who's going to help you. Find someone who's going to link you to someone who can help you. Do not go through your trauma alone. Why? Because we've all been there. We've all been there. If I had a problem with the students, Professor, I said, Professor, what do you think about this syllabus? Do you think I should add this? I'm gonna pick up on Messenger. I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna ask you a question. What would you do with this student in my situation? Reach out to someone. Never mind. I can just do it by myself. I can do it alone. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. We need one another.
Right. One of my friends, Emmanuel, he is from Oman. He is a Maxwell speaker as well. He shared with me the same thought. Leaders are those who can get help from others. It's a leadership quality. Don't be stuck in your situation. Move forward.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
that's wonderful. I love that you have shared with me. People grow best when they are treated with dignity. That's right. And my next question section is about the resilience. Resilience in action. Resilience isn't built in comfort. It often developed through challenge, change, and uncertainty. Doctor, what have you learned about the resilience from the people you have worked with? Because you can variety of people you are working with in different situations and different places.
Okay. What have I learned about the resilience? Don't give up. Don't give up. They are in prison. I've got people in prison for some of the most horrific crimes: murder, assault, arson, but they still are trying to obtain a college degree. So that's resilience right there. That's saying, I'm not going to give up. And you use the word, Professor, use the word dignity. Friend, That's the key word, dignity, dignity, dignity. Who are we not to show dignity to our fellow man? Well, yeah, but they don't deserve it. Look what they did. You know what? That's between God will deal with people. Let's deal with ourselves. Let's deal again with the person in the mirror. One day I was walking through the prison and I fell, and you should have seen the inmates run to me and just to help to pick me up. Are you okay, Dr. Anderson? Are you okay? Are you okay? That was showing me dignity. That was showing me that they care about me. That's why when you in prison, you have numbers like 10007. That's
Yes.
how they refer to the inmates. They'll get on a loudspeaker. I need inmate 1007 to report to the warden's office. When you come into my class, sir, you are not an inmate. I tell them that you are a Connor State College student. You are Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith, Mr. Jones, Miss Jones. You are not an inmate. That is giving us dignity. And they tell me all the time, thank you for not calling us by our names. And I tell them, when you turn in your homework, when you turn in your paperwork, you do not put your prison record on number on there. You put your name, or I will lower your grade, because this is not what you are. This is not who you are. You are a student. Again, it all comes to dignity. And sometimes you don't see dignity. You don't see it. People don't speak dignity over you. They denigrate you. I don't know whether you saw it in America, saw it in Pakistan, but Thursday was the presidential opening for President Barack Obama, and they had dignitaries from all over the world. He grew up with a single mother, no father in the home. He was a different color. He had a strange name. People laughed at him and mocked at him. And you said, and when they would throw stones at him. And they said, well, you know what he would do? When they would throw stones at him, he would just jump on the stones and keep on skipping. Now the whole world knows who President Barack Obama is, because of that, because 8 years being a president. So again, he could have let that being undignified, being called undignified, being called ugly names, he could have let that define him. Never let what people call you define you. It's what you answer to. Now, what does he answer to? Mr. President Barack Obama. So
Right.
never let what people say to you define you. You mustn't do that. Define what, number one, God says about you, what he thinks about you, and what you think and you say about yourself.
Right. Right. That's powerful. And resilience isn't about, you can say, the never falling. It's about learning how to rise again. That's wonderful. You have given the example of Barack Obama over here. That's, you can say, the a living example, a living legend here. Big transformations are usually the result of small, consistent actions. What daily habit help participants build resilience and maintain momentum?
Okay, what daily habit? Well, I can only use myself as a daily habit because what works for me may not work for everybody else. My daily habit is starting off with prayer. I just can't do this by myself. I'm not smart enough. I'm not smart enough to even figure out how to do a background check. So I'm not smart enough on other things. So I believe in prayer, saying, God, I don't know what to do, but help me, show me what to do. So prayer, and then something else I do, Professor. I have a gratitude journal. I believe in being grateful. Grateful, grateful, grateful for everything. You know what I'm going to put on today's date? I'm going to say I spent time with the professor from Pakistan, my new friend, and I'm going to say I'm grateful for that. So have a gratitude journal. So that it says three things I am grateful for. I find three things I'm grateful for. And then what made today great? Well, meeting with you and having the opportunity to speak to your followers. Daily affirmation. Amazing things, three amazing things that happened today. How could I have made today better? So have a gratitude journal. Be grateful. So that's what I do. Prayer, gratitude journal, and just watch your self-talk. Self-talk is so important. That's why I'm a instructor and a coach for self-talk. There's a man who has written a book called Dr. Shad Helmstetter, and he writes down positive self talks. He has 31, and every single day he has a positive self talk. You know what I do, Professor? I take his book and I have my students, I'm gonna call my inmates, I have the students at the prison write down positive self-talks from his book. I am capable. This is not my final destination. I have made it. I will continue to flourish. I will continue to grow. I have them write it on the board and they repeat it. So that's why self talk is so important. Talk to yourself. And when you're so busy talking to yourself, you don't listen, you don't hear. You don't hear anything negative anyone is saying. People say everything negative about you anyway. Ignore them. It's what comes out of your mouth. The word, the atmosphere, here's what you say. Forget what other people say. President Obama forgot he didn't even remember what other people said. He was so focused and busy speaking about himself. Death and life are in the power of where? The tongue. You're hung by your tongue. Loose lips sink ships. So you have to be so careful what comes out of your mouth about yourself.
I'm just written loose lips, sink ships. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And the
That's an
thing that,
American saying.
okay, right. And the thing that you have shared with us, that you are doing with your journal, we start our days with positive energy, and it has a ripple effect. That's wonderful. Uh, that's you can say great thing that we start with positive energy, and that's practical and encouraging things that you have shared with me. Small steps often create significant changes in our life, and that one thing that you have shared with me, the self talk is very important. It reflections are more important in our life. That's the way one can change his or her life. No one rebuilds alone. The people around us influence our progress more than we realize. Doctor, how do relationships and the community influence personal transformation?
Oh my goodness, excellent question. These questions are excellent. Okay, now that's where another S comes in, your sphere. SPHERE. What's the word that comes before sphere? Your atmosphere. We must be careful who we allow in our atmosphere. That's why my students are in prison, because they listen to the wrong voice. They listen to people outside of their sphere who told them, okay, we can rob this bank. We can hurt this person. We can commit this crime. They had people around them. Their sphere brought them down. Who you have around you will either lift you up. John Maxwell says that he calls it the elevator principle. Either you lift someone up or you pull them down. Don't let people pull you down. You've got to lift them up, and we must lift everyone else up. I don't let people pull me down. I stay away from them. Well, Andrea, that's kind of rude. I don't care. You're not going to pull me down. I'm not going to let you pull me down. There's a song, I don't know the singer, but there's one line in this song that says, build me up, buttercup. Don't tear me down. You know, buttercup is a flower. So build me up, buttercup. Don't tear me down. Watch what you have around your atmosphere. Watch who you have around your atmosphere. Do not hang around negative people. You don't owe them anything, but they will pull you up. You said, well, I need to hang around them. I need to be around them. Maybe I can lift them up. Well, maybe you can. Maybe you can. But do not let them pull you down. Let them build you up. When I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself and get back in the race. Why are you back on your face? Because you've allowed people to pull you down. You don't have to do that. Let's go back to the Olympians. Okay, when they're running as a group, they're running as a team. And what happens? The runner in front passes a baton. So they've got to keep your eye on the person in front of you who's going forward, who's going somewhere. I want to keep my eye on you, Professor, and talk to teach. Why? Because you're going somewhere. You're going forward. Why am I going to hang around with negative people who aren't doing anything, who are talking about people? I want to hang around with people like you, because what are you doing? You're lifting your population, I almost said congregation, but you're lifting your population, you're lifting your people up. So that's who I want to hang with. Your atmosphere, your sphere. And prison is such a negative environment, but don't let the prison get into you. Even if you're in a negative work environment, don't let it affect you. you affected?
After your conversation, I'm thinking right now that I personally should visit some prison very close to my, you can say, the house. That's, you can say, the central jail of my town, Gujranwala. It is an industrial city, one of the most important city of Pakistan. It's the fifth biggest populated city and historical city, and it is renowned for wrestlers and foodie people. And there is also a big jail. You can say that just is, you can say the 5 minutes, 7 minutes on for distance, just 7 minutes walk. I would like to visit sometime and met the people who are in the prison and talk to them in some way. How can I help them? You inspired me. I would like to make it possible. How can I do that?
Oh
That's
my
so true.
goodness.
Growth often happen in connection, not in isolation. That's a wonderful idea that, Doctor, you have shared with me. Not
Mm.
every, you can say, not every environment supports that future we are trying to build. Doctor, how can someone create an environment that supports healing growth, and purpose? How can we, you can say, develop such kind of environment?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that question because I'm going back to what you said that you want to start visiting prison. What's lacking in the prisons is communication. They need a mentor like you. They need someone to mentor. Why can't you be the mentoring? Obviously, if they're in prison, they've had some bad mentors, not the very good mentors. Why can't you mentor them and teach them communication? Because when you learn to speak, when you know how to speak, you can say, wait, you can watch yourself talk. Wait a minute, I'm not going to commit this crime. I'm not going to do this. But people don't know how to communicate. So that's where, sir, you come in, mentoring them and communicating with them. You come with an idea. This is what I can do. This is what I want to do to mentor you. Because as you mentor people, guess what? You're really mentoring yourself. I have learned so much from my people in the prison. I have learned so much. I've learned how to be patient. I've learned how to be more kind. And I've learned how to be bold. They have a garden in the women's prison, and they bought me a jalapeno. Do they have that in Pakistan? It's a hot pepper, very hot. And they said, we just want to give you something. And I said, double dog dare me to eat it. And they said, we dare you. So I chewed on it and it just burned my whole mouth. But they loved it because I wanted to show them how brave I am. Prison will show you how brave you can be. So mentor the people. You have so much, sir, to offer the people. Number one, communication skills, because they don't know how to talk or they wouldn't be in prison. Mentoring. They don't have good role models or they wouldn't be in prison. So that I want to say that to you first. Now, your question was your environment. Yes, it's a negative environment, but you can make it you can make it positive. I'm not bragging on myself. I give God all the glory. But when I walk into the prison, guess what? Their eyes light up. That might call the prison my happiest place in the world because I'm happy when I'm in prison. Why? Because I'm building people up. In the process of building people up, creating a scaffold for them, guess what? I'm creating a scaffold for myself.
Right.
So you
Right.
can change your environment.
All right, that's a valuable insight. And later, I will connect with you for the to meet the people in prison. I will plan something and under your guideline, and well, I will take the initiative. I am, you can say, the determined to do this because it is very easy and quite easy access for me for that prison, and I should do that. You are an inspiration for me in this context.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
many people lose confidence before they lose their potential.
Mm.
How do you help someone reconnect with their purpose when they feel discouraged, or you can say the defeated?
You know what? I'm writing down what you just said. People lose confidence before they lose the potential. Okay, excuse me. I'm going to be copying from you too. Okay, they lose the confidence because they think that their potential is lost. Let's look at the word potential. POTNT. What does that mean? It means potent. It's so strong. What God, the creator, what God has placed in you is so strong. No one can take it out if you allow them to. And when you lose your confidence, you will lose your potential, and it doesn't have to be. Yes, I'm in prison. Yes, I'm incarcerated. Yes, I have the word inmate on the back on my back, but I still have potential. I can still make it. Think about, we both know who this person is, Nelson Mandela
Yes.
from South Africa, in prison simply because of his skin tone and some of the things that he believed for his people. He was in prison for all the years, but you know what? How did he end up? He ended up becoming the prime minister of the very country who incarcerated him. There's a picture of he, and he said he was the first person that Queen Elizabeth allowed to ride in the coach with her. How can you come from a prison to riding next to the Queen? How can you come from a prison, the worst prison, I think is Robin's prison in South Africa, being mistreated, to becoming the prime minister? Why? He never lost confidence in his potential, his self-talk. He didn't see himself as a prisoner. He said he saw himself as a liberator. President Obama could have said, I have a single mother. I'm a mixed race child. My color is wrong. People laugh at me. They even laugh at my name. But he never lost confidence. I have to tell this story. This is one of my favorite, if I have time to tell this story. I'm going to add some parts too and take it away to make it quicker. There are two women. One of the women, there were two little girls. They grew up. Both were very poor. Both of them received a scholarship. I'll give a name. I'll call her Levon. Levon received a scholarship to an Ivy League university, Princeton University. There was another girl, a lady by the name, I'll call her Karen, received a scholarship also, because they were both poor, to the Ivy League school, Princeton. Well, Levon and Karen became roommates when they first moved into prison. So Karen calls her mom and says, I have a new roommate. And she described her. And her mother says, no, 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 you cannot be her roommate. And she says, why? Because of her color, because of her brown skin, because she's black. I will not allow my daughter become a roommate to this person. And so she called the dean and she made them remove her daughter from Levon's room simply because Levon's skin color. Years later, her mother, Karen's mother, receives a call and she says, Mom, guess what? Guess what? You remember my roommate? You made me leave the room and go to another room because you didn't like her skin color. She goes, yeah, I remember that. We don't do things like that in our country. You don't room with people of a different race. Mom, she's on television. She's on television, Mother, right now. What do you mean she's on television? Mother, they're saying things about her. Well, what do they see? I told you. What are they saying about this Levon? They're saying that her husband is running for president, and her husband may be the next president. Her name is Michelle LaVaughn Robinson Obama. Her husband just may be the next president of the United States. We know that happened 8 years ago, or a few years ago. So you see, Michelle never let what people said about her. They asked her about that. She didn't even remember it. She didn't care enough to remember that. Never would let people define you. Never let define who you are. What happened Thursday? The whole world knows who Michelle LaVaughn Robinson Obama is. And the whole world knows who President Barack Hussein Obama is. You never let people define you, even if you're a prisoner. Don't become a prisoner of somebody else's cage. The people who put you in a cage, don't let them do that. Let them out. You must say, no, you're not going to put me in a cage. You're not going to place me in a cage. Don't let people place you in a cage, and do not place yourself in a cage. That's why self-talk is so important.
I love it. So inspiring, so enthusiastic, super passionate. You can say. I was not expecting you and one Marcella. You can say, and another my guest, super excited, and energy is transformed in the environment even from your gesture, from your words, and it's you can say the great impact of a leader. Okay, we are moving forward and we are two or three more questions in this context. Transformation can be difficult to measure because it often starts on the inside before you can see the external proof. What does success looking beyond traditional measures in statistics?
Okay. Statistics, stats to me sound like math, and I don't do math. No, I
Okay.
can't understand. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not a statistician.
Okay.
But you said, what does it look like? Success simply means taking your failures and doing something with it. That's why John Maxwell in his last book saying you have to get how to get a return on failure. You must get a return on your failure. Okay, and think about something else. Think about something, Professor. Think about this. What do you have of the oyster? What's in an oyster? A pearl's in the oyster. How does that pearl get out of the oyster? That oyster is always scrubby. It's always clean, struggling, struggling, struggling. You're going to have struggles. You're going to have struggles being transformed. Think about a diamond. A diamond starts with coal, and then it turns into a diamond. So it's always grit. It's always moving, moving, moving. So you're going to have to move. It's going to be painful. Success is painful. No gain, no pain, not gonna be any gain. No pain, no gain. It's going to be, you have to continue to move because we don't want to, remember, we don't want to become monuments. We don't want to become movements. So you keep on moving and it's going to hurt. It's going to irritate. You're going to feel pain. You're going to feel rejected. You're going to say, you know what, just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. I can't make it again. That's what you have to do. Remember I showed earlier our salt, our pink salt. How do you get it? You get it from the grinder. And when you get it from the grinder, what happens? Then it heals your body. That magnesium and the pink salt heals your body. So yes, it hurts to be ground. It hurts. It takes a while. And in fact, it takes a while. Sometimes it'll take me up to 3 minutes to get the salt that I want because I'm constantly turning. It's going to take a while. Does success come overnight? Absolutely not. Does that pearl come overnight out of that oyster? No. Does that diamond come out of that charcoal coal? No. It's a build, build, build. You have to build a scaffold. You have to build a scaffold. And we didn't talk about the A word. One of the A words that we need to talk about is you have to be authentic about it. Let's not be a hypocrite. I know you don't. I don't know you that well, but I can just imagine you don't like hypocrites. You like people who are authentic. You gotta be real. You ever see people, they're fake, 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 fake? Don't pay them any attention. You have to be real. That's why my students love me because I'm real. Sometimes I say, what you see is what you get, and what you don't see may be better yet. But I can't be anyone else but me. You can't be anyone else but you. You are one unique person. That's why your fingerprint does not match anyone else's fingerprint because the creator, God, has made you unique. There's only one you. Even if you had a twin, still, you're still one person. You're still unique. We have to realize that we are unique, unique. We have to be authentic. We have to be authentic.
Right, right. That's powerful. And success is often about who someone is becoming, right? And
Process, process.
yes. In the last section that about the question is the 180 shift. Doctor, the final stage is the 180 shift, turning life in a completely new direction. What does a genuine 180-degree life change look like in a practice?
Okay, excellent. Love that. Oh, 80. You don't want to go 360. You only want to go 180 because you never want to go back to where you returned. You said a dog returns to vomit. It's vomit. You don't want that. So you want to leave the past behind. Again, go on, go forward. Don't look back. You're going to make it. And in fact, that's a fact. Leave the past is behind. Leave the past behind. What it looks like is having all five of those areas align: your spirit, your soul. We didn't talk that much about soul, but what is your soul? Your soul is simply your mind, your will, and your emotions. When those come together, that's the definition of soul. Your mind, keep your mind focused on your goals, keep your mind focused on your vision. If Nelson Mandela had said, I'm going to just die in this prison, I'll never see my family, I'll never see myself out. We don't know whether he said, I'll see myself as prime minister. He probably never thought about that. President Barack Obama probably never said, I'm going to be president one day. You know, he probably never said that. So you focus on where you have those five things in order: your spirit. Be aligned. Have your soul, your mind, your will. What's your will? Your will is I'm going to make it. I don't care what the obstacles are. I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep on building. I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to reach out to the professor here who's going to help me through talks to teach. I'm going to listen to him every single week when he has a new guest on there. I'm going to take notes. I'm going to learn, and then I'm going to apply myself. That's your will. And then your emotions, keep your emotions under control. Nobody needs somebody always flailing around. Keep your emotions under control. Does that mean making you emotionless? Absolutely not. We need one another. We are not robots. We are not. AI may be a robot, but you're not a robot. We're not a robot. Next, spirit, soul, your soma. You got to keep your body intact. That's why pink salt, the Himalayan salt, gives you the magnesium. The exercise. Do we want to exercise? No. But do we need to? Yes. Eating right, eating healthily. Make certain that you do that. So your soma and your sphere. Watch who you have around you. Just don't have anyone hanging around you, because some people are like vultures, and some people just, they listen. They want to just pick at you, pick at you. Well, who do you think you are? Every single week you have a talk to teach. No, you don't listen to that, because you're reaching people, you're helping people, you're motivating people. I've already taken notes from what you said. I never thought about the word pathways. I should have, because that's a Toastmaster term, but I never thought about that. You said lose confidence before people lose confidence before they reach their potential. I'm going to add that to my module, to my transcript. Okay, then we said spirit, and then your salt. Make certain that you're seasoning somebody with flavor, the flavor of your life, and have an economic order in your life, economic stability.
Right, right.
That's
Wonderful.
success.
That's a remarkable picture of transformation that you have shared with me. It's our last question, and when you respond this question, you would like to give a message for the audience, especially for the students. I'm teaching. I've been teaching in a college since 2009 for the grade 11 and 12, and from 2018 to 22 in a university for the BS classes. Would you like to give some message after the responding this question to the students, especially in our region, or you can see students around the class, around the globe? When one life changes, that the impact of often extends. Sorry to say, I will reword this. When one life changes, the impact often extends far beyond the individual. Looking ahead, what is your long-term vision for Trek to the Stars and the people it serves?
What is my long-term vision for Trek to the Stars? We have a saying also, each one reach one. Each one reach one. I get this when all, and you know what? This is a process. It's not going to just happen overnight. It's a continuous process. It's a continuous process. We always have to upgrade ourselves in those 5 areas: your spirit, your soul, your soma, your spirit, and your salt. I just last year, I have well, let's say four. I had 4 college degrees. I have 5 degrees now, because I keep going and I want to get another degree. And I said, no, that's just too much. I can't go to school, because I'm constantly learning. Continue, students, to learn, continue to learn, and stay in contact with your professor. Why? Because he's continuing to learn. He's continuing to evolve. So I heard someone say, boy, when I graduated from college, I'll never open another book. They swore they would never open another book. And now they're training people. One of my students told me last week, they said, what are you teaching in the fall? Because I want to take all of your classes. Why? Because you have to continually grow. So students continually grow. And something else I want to say to you, I implore you, I plead with you, write your vision down. Write it down. Where's my pen? I usually have a huge pen that I keep oh, here it is, right here. First of all, write your vision down. You think it, you think what your vision is, and then you what? You ink it. You ink it. I have a vision statement to take Trek to the Stars, to the prison, to take it to individuals, because that's why I'm starting. I'm starting July 1st to September 29th. Yeah, that's 90 days. Then I'm going to start all over and do another 90 days. Constantly evolve. You must evolve. Keep that word inside. Be strategic. That's another key word. Be strategic about evolving. Don't stay stuck. You are not a monument for for the birds to go to the bathroom on. Keep moving, but write your vision down. You think it. What do I want my vision to be? See it. See it. I have a vision board. I have a vision board right now. Let me see if I can grab it right quick. I have a vision board, and okay, I'm gonna show this vision board right quick. I'm gonna show this picture. I have a vision board of myself meeting. This is me meeting, and this is a statue or a picture of President Barack Obama. That's my vision. I keep that. One of these days, I will meet President Barack Obama. Okay, keep your vision in front of you. I'm gonna take a picture right now of me with Talks and Teach. Keep that so I can visit Pakistan. Keep your vision in front of you. Why? So you can be a movement, not a monument. Why? Because we need you. Students, you can change. See this? Can you read this? This says, change the world. You are what changes the world. And you know what?
Doctor, what is
It
this in
does.
this white bottle? You can say what is you can in these bottles.
Exactly, change the world. And some people say, well, is this bottle half full? Some people say, your bottle is just half full. Is it half full or is it half empty? It doesn't matter. It's refillable. It's refillable. Pour more water in it. If you think it's half full, pour more water in it. So your bottle is always um, fillable. And you know what? Remember something else, students? In the words of our former president, yes, you can. That
Yes.
was his theme. That was his campaign slogan. And that's what I'm saying to you. By the grace of God and prayer, yes, you can. And you know what? Yes, you will. Why? Because we need you, students, to change the world.
Right. Thank you very much. I have figured out I will not be the monument. I would be moving forward all the time. I will write, you can see that my vision and keep it in front of me. Just you put your picture with Barack Obama. And it's a great, you can say, strategy to be focused on, but we are doing it. Dear audience, thank you very much for sharing this. And that's a powerful place to land. Today, we have explored that what truly means rebuilding the self. We have talked about purpose that gives direction, resilience that strengthens us through adversity, and a renewal that allows us to move forward with hope. Dr. Andrea, thank you for sharing your wisdom, your vision, and your heart with us today. And to everyone listening us, remember that transformation is not about becoming someone else. That is very important. And it is becoming the healthiest, the strongest, and the most authentic version of who you were created to be. Because when the self is rebuilt, purpose becomes clearer, resilience becomes stronger, and renewal becomes possible. Thank you for joining us on Talks They Teach, where we listen, we learn, we lead. Until next time, keep growing, keep giving, and keep going. Thank you very much. It's a pleasant to have you, and you are more passionate, you can say the inspiring personality than I expected.
Well, thank you so much. Remember, so I appreciate you much. And remember, students, and everything, it's not about me, it's about we and what we can accomplish. It's not about me, it's about thee and we. Love
Right.
you much. I always say, love you much. Stay in touch.
Thank
Shalom.
you. Thank you.